News just broke that Damian Lillard has requested a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers, and thank God. I'm all in for loyalty in life, but in sports, who cares? Dame made more money than he can spend, so now it's all about winning, and he can't do that in Portland. Now, if the Blazers honor that request, and it's not guaranteed, Dame's got to choose wisely. He prefers 4 destinations: the Heat, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Knicks? Okay, that's ridiculous, and there are several teams that will go after Dame. We'll get to all of that in a second, but what is the point if it's not a contender? Dame hasn't had an all-star teammate since LaMarcus Aldridge in 2015. He needs a better front office. At this point, Dame has been as loyal as possible for years, and he deserves better. It is stupid to stay with one team that doesn't match your greatness. I can't imagine in other parts of life, like some car designer who works at Kia gets offered a job at Lamborghini, but he stays because of loyalty. Why would an NBA player do that? I mean, he always said he wanted to be the next Dirk Nowitzki to stay until a title, but that is over. I'm not surprised by this trade request either. He's with Team USA. This always happens. Guys get around other superstars, they talk in the locker room or at dinner, they actually see what it's like to play on the same court as guys as good as them. All those guys on the Olympic roster right now are recruiting Dame hard. He is the closest thing to Steph Curry in terms of shooting. He's a top 10 player who will push a team to the conference finals at least. This trade request has shook up the league. Imagine if he goes to the Lakers. Is that 2 more chips for LeBron?
Give me Damian Lillard. I'll show you how appreciated he'll be.
What if he goes off the Olympic team and goes to, say, the Mavericks with Luka? One team he will not be going to, though, is the Brooklyn Nets. They already have way too many big names and big contracts, and unless the Blazers accepted a Kyrie Irving sign-and trade, it won't happen. Besides, I don't see KD actually doing that to Kyrie. It would kill their relationship. But what about the actual Blazers front office? They've got Dame under contract till 2024. Portland doesn't have to trade him, but yes, they will. I mean, stars basically run the league these days, and I love it. The league is more fun when stars play with stars and we have dynasties. It's the reason the offseason is almost as fun as the regular season. Point is, you have got to leave your rookie team most of the time if you're gonna win. Finally, Dame is doing the right thing. So let's talk about the teams that are most likely to land Dame. And again, his preferred destinations are the Knicks, the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Heat. So we could just put those 4 teams. But a lot of teams actually have really good packages they could put together, assuming that the Blazers want an all-star and a lot of picks. And actually, the Lakers don't have a great offer. Dennis Schroeder and THT on a sign-and-trade, Kyle Kuzma, and 3 firsts. It's unlikely because 2 players would have to agree to a sign and trade. And I think there's much better deals out there. But I get that Dame would want to play with LeBron and AD in Los Angeles. Dame's a perfect fit with both of those Hall of Famers in the front court. This would be at least 1 more ring for LeBron, maybe 2, but I don't think it happens. And the Knicks don't have a great package either. I mean, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and 5 picks. Why would Dame go from a team that can't win to another team that can't win? In a bigger city? I mean, either he's crazy or crazy like a fox, because he's got a trick up his sleeve about another superstar joining him in New York like the Clippers or the Nets did. Next, the Raptors could trade Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and 3 picks. The only reason this isn't higher, I don't see Dame doing it. Why would you gut the Raptors to be in another losing situation in Toronto? And Raptor fans, don't tell me this is too much to trade for Dame. He is 1,000,000 times better than all those pieces combined. But the Mavericks have a better trade because they've got Kristaps Porzingis plus Jalen Brunson, 2 picks, and a swap. And first, I would love to see the offense off of Luka's shoulders with Damian Lillard. I don't think it's realistic, though, because Kristaps is injury prone. Now, if Portland somehow likes his medicals, they could talk themselves into CJ McCollum and KP, but I don't think it happens. But the Heat could trade Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson on a sign and trade, Precious Achiuwa, Andre Iguodala, and 2 firsts. This is on his preferred trade destination list, but none of those guys are all-stars. That's what Portland wants. Unless the Heat will give up Bam Adebayo, I don't see it happening. I know Pat Riley is aggressive, but other teams can offer more picks and better players, like the Suns on a sign and trade with Chris Paul, plus Mikal Bridges, and 4 firsts. Now, the only reason Phoenix isn't higher is we don't know if CP3 would accept this. But if he did, this would be the perfect Plan B, backup plan for after Chris Paul. I just did a video about how the Suns are kind of screwed next year if Chris Paul leaves. But this could make Big Perk correct and have a dynasty in Phoenix. Now, the only reason this could happen is if the Suns said to CP3, hey, we're not going to give you that 3-year, $100 million deal, but you can get it if you take this sign and trade. Plus, they have so many really good young players to include. If the stars aligned, I think this could easily happen. But the Clippers have a better package? Yes, Paul George, Terrence Mann, whoever their 2021 rookie is, and the 28th first. The Clips are high on this list because of PG-13. He redeemed himself in this postseason, and before you say they wouldn't do that to PG, ask Blake Griffin. Okay, this same ownership group was not afraid to deal him to the Pistons after they signed him to a big deal, told him, you're our future. Now, this would hurt the Clips' defense, but defense isn't as important these days. But it would raise their offense, especially in clutch situations. Why is this higher than the Suns' offer? Well, because I think that Paul George is in his prime right now. He's under contract for 4 more seasons. And so if I was the Blazers, I would prefer him as my centerpiece over Chris Paul. But the Pelicans have a better deal because Brandon Ingram is an all-star and even younger. Jackson Hayes and 7 firsts for Dame. The Blazers will hold out for an all-star. This is the Pels' best offer, and it includes the number 10 pick this year, all the remaining Bucks and Lakers picks. I don't love the fit. Zion is now playing with the ball in his hands, but the Pels front office is feeling pressure to build a winner around Zion. This will be a home run swing. But a better trade is the Warriors, dealing James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, and 3 firsts. I know it sounds crazy to sell the Dubs' future to land another lead guard when they have Klay and Steph, but there are 2 big reasons for this. Number 1, the pressure to win because of Steph's contract and his age. He wants more chips. Dame would be the best superstar on the market, better than Bradley Beal, and Dame sees that. That's why the Dubs are on his trade list. Number 2 is to take the offensive load off Curry's shoulders. Every night last year, he carried this team, and that's not going to be fixed when Klay comes back. Klay is not going to be the old Klay Thompson, and he could move to the 3 with Steph and Dame, making the best offensive backcourt ever. But I think the best package out there is Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Tyrese Maxey, and 4 firsts. This is a big offer for any player, but hear me out. This is their best offer. We know Philly will trade Ben Simmons. We know Daryl Morey doesn't care how many draft picks he sends out in a trade. That only really leaves Seth and Maxey, not too much for Dame. The Blazers demand Seth because they're going to build around Ben Simmons. You need shooters to do that. CJ McCollum, Seth Curry, Rocco, and Norm Powell are a great start. The Sixers get a perimeter scorer next to Joel Embiid, who is a perfect match on the court and from a timeline perspective. A roster of Embiid and Dame, plus Tobias Harris, then role players, veteran savvy guys, George Hill, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle would make the finals. Let me know what you think in the comment. My number 1 team is the Sixers, but apparently Dame wants the Knicks, the Lakers, the Heat, or the Dubs.